Hello, hello. Yellow. Green, green LED is flashing. This means we're live, right? Please let me know in the comments who is here. Just a second, I will open up the comment section. Let me know if you see my wonderful presentation that we have created for you. And soon we will be starting. I thought that I may see here some people that follow me on my social media accounts. You may write a question, and meanwhile we are waiting, I will answer one or two questions. So it will be interactive for you and me, and for those who will watch and replay this webinar in case it will be saved, because I really believe it will, as I prepared for you a lot of useful information. Remember that you will need a pen and journal, because I really want you to always have one when you are attending my lessons. I hope you will find a lot of useful information that you will need to write down. Okay, hello, hello. I see that someone is following me. Hello. Oh my God, what's going on with my phone? It keeps buzzing and it never stops. So, okay, hello, hello, hello. How do I overcome the fear? Well, there are two types of fear. The one that is coming from our body, and that one's preventing us from doing harm things to our body. But I suppose you are asking about general fear, the human fear that is coming from our logical side of the brain. And all I can suggest is what I did and worked for me, and this is what I always share with you, is that you sit down and analyze that situation. You write down what your fear is linked to, right? And then you have two columns where you write the benefits you will get if you follow and you step into that fear, and what will happen if you stay where you are today. After you will have these two columns, you will simply analyze what is more beneficial for you right now in that specific moment. If you feel that there are more benefits than the negative side, then you just put on in writing another goal, and you start following it. Because in fear, we have to step in. We can't let it overcome us, because our brain is a machine, and its primary function, and we will be discussing about some of them a bit later, but its primary function is to auto-save us. So our brain doesn't like when we stress it, whether it is a good or a bad stress. Writing down and analyzing is my answer. Okay, I think we have. Oh, but I don't know. I don't know how many. Let me check. But yeah, how many people did subscribe for the webinar, and how many of you are right now? Okay, more than 65. So 65 is good. 65% is good. Although, if here would be just one person, I would gladly continue this webinar, because tiny steps really matter. And if we are able to make someone rethink and reset their beliefs, then I can't be happy enough. So let's start our presentation. Let me know if you see it good. Yeah, it's not necessary to see me because this one is more important. Okay. Yes. So this webinar will be useful for you if you are struggling with money, if you fail to build a business. Again, a very good question of how do we overcome the fear. If you are unable to advance in any way at your workplace, if your lifestyle is mainly dominated by the same cycle, if you are unsatisfied with the relationship you are building around yourself, this will be a useful webinar to you, because you will find out how our thoughts can harm ourselves and do harm ourselves. And why do we program ourselves to worser scenario instead of bringing on the first plan the benefits? Who am I? My name is Maria. For those who are seeing me for the first time, in the last 7 years, I have been mainly preoccupied by why some people are very successful, why do they have everything they want to, and why do some people can't even afford to buy bread in some days, right? So I have been thinking about that since my childhood because I was feeling different from all the people around. And I did realize that some people live in a circular life. What does this mean? This means that they have something and then they expand to any other position and return from where did they start. So this circular living is not bad or good, it is just a fact. But this doesn't allow you to upgrade. This doesn't allow you to develop more, whether in your business or your social relationships or your professional life. So then I realized that we should be moving like a spiral. What does this mean? This means that once we reach to close an entire circle, we need to move to the next level. This would be called a quantum leap, right? So, in this way, we manage to develop more, to discover ourselves in new condition, and to be able to use all the information that we have gained at the previous stage. My mission is to help women to return in their bodies, in their spirits, and to look inside themselves and find out what do they struggle the most with. Why do they forget about themselves when a child is born? Why do they forget about what they like to do when they get married? Why they go to a job that they don't like? Who I am. More information you can find on my Instagram account. I lost in my first business over $20,000, and those were not my money, but my husband's money. And I do not divide money now as mine and yours, but at that time I was very young and I didn't know what I know today. And it happened that after 3 years, I suffered from face paralysis. Today, I'm not as beautiful as I was before. I didn't even want my team to place here some photos before and after because I don't think this is the most precious part. But I want you to know that it was and it is really a challenge for me to stay in front of the camera today and to present all the information I know with this face that I had to get used to live with. Back then I didn't know why did this happen. Now I do realize, and I can't say that I have accepted this and decided that I have more beautiful things to focus on. And despite the fact that my face is not perfect, I'm still here today sharing my experience, but mostly important, sharing the knowledge I have gained through my entire life. Just knowing that information is not enough for a change. We do attend a lot of courses, a lot of free webinars like this one, but we do not start doing and changing something. The fact that we store that specific information in our brain doesn't help us to succeed, doesn't help us to change. This is why I have created my legendary electrifying self-love program, which is an instruction of step by step what you need to do every day in order to achieve what you want and what you write down. You will find a lot of information about what foundation of our thoughts means to us, and how does it determine our success or in success. Will not be reading your comments during this webinar because when I catch the cosmic link, I still have the information that I want to present for you today. But at the end or in any day when you are free, just check my social media accounts. I do have lives from time to time, and I do answer all the questions for you. Here is what will we learn. So I will tell you what condition our brain needs in order to make our dreams come true. Who is our family? This is an extremely important part of our life and of this webinar also. And what happens with your brain when you communicate with your closest members of the family. So you know that a lot of people say that our surrounding and people who surround you are the most important. They do bring changes to your life, but we never know why and how. So this is some tricks that I will share with you today. I will also tell you what is the reason why we don't fulfill our dreams, but we somehow, in a way, fulfill desires of other people. And very often you may see that your husband was having a dream, and it happened to me also. I remember myself when I was young wearing that heels, and I was imagining my life as a mom, driving a very luxury car. And I was seeing those advertisements with the very nice, slim ladies having two or three kids, and they're walking from a car on those heels and very nice looking and always with a nice haircut. This is how I was imagining my motherhood to be. And things change that fast that one day I realized that even if when I'm not with my kids, because with my kids it is of course comfort is on the first place, I realized that I always wear sports suits and I always have a hood on over my head. And when I started thinking more about that, I do remember that when I was just starting dating my husband, he was telling me I was wearing always the heels by that time and very elegant dresses. And my husband was telling me, I imagine my wife to drive a luxury car. And here we met Target, wearing very nice suits in a sports and comfortable trainers. And I realized that his dream fulfilled through me. And that was one moment when I stopped and really start think why this happened that way. Why was I dreaming and imagining in one way and things turned out differently? So I will tell you in a couple of minutes why. And I will also describe you some tricks that you may use when trying to overcome fears or you trying to find any solutions for a problem you may have. So the reason why we fulfill others' desires is because we put that person we are living with first in our head. It's extremely sensitive, and you need to catch yourself doing this in order to understand what I'm trying to tell. So before I met him, I was just living my own life. So I was thinking about me, what would I do, how would I look like, how will I behave. And when I met him, of course, we fell in love and things like that. This is all very nice and fun, but we have to realize that we are the first person in our life, and our dreams and desires are more importantly than other people. I know you may think that this is harsh, you can't do this to people, but this is the only way you can behave in order to save yourself from different illnesses, to save your kids from illnesses you deliver to them until the age of 7, and you save your family in this way. When you start thinking on what you like to do, on what your beliefs are, and you move into your dream and look forward to meet your goal in your life, you stop worrying too much about other people. You stop thinking, where is your husband? Why is he late? Where is your kid? Worries bring illnesses. And you need to understand that more you worry about someone, it's not because you love them. Love is infinite. When you are worried, your brain is in a constantly anxious state. And what it gives to you in the end is something in your body that you would need to worry more about. And this is usually illness, whether to yourself, whether to your kid, if it is until the age of 7. So, this is why you need to be extremely careful when you place someone else in your brain. When you have a goal and you do everything that you can in order to live that dream in your real life, you disconnect the other people's opinion about yourself. And this is one of the most powerful things you may have. And we all have this, but we are afraid of using it too much because we still think what other people will say, what other people will think if we put ourselves first. But if you will not do this, you won't be able to achieve any of the goals, whether they are in written form or just in your head. Imagine your brain is like a 2 years old kid, right? It is not big yet, yeah, a kid of 2 years old. It is not yet a big kid, but it already knows more than it knew before. And you will find yourself in a kind of very tricky situation. When a kid wants something, he or she will achieve it in any way, like with manipulations or by crying or by being nice. So the same way your brain, it knows something, but it doesn't know exactly how to use it until you provide it the right information and you input the files that you need. About the files, I think you may find a lot of information on my social media. How should you use them? If you are telling something to a 2 years old kid and he or she does not understand what you are trying to explain, so believe me, your brain will also not understand. You need to learn to speak only with facts and with very specific informations and details. All this information you may find in my lesson dedicated to how to correctly put in writing your dreams. And this is one trick of the brain, that it doesn't understand complementary and adjectives. It only understands specific facts. This is why I always analyze facts and I like to speak and to write and to think as it. What are the brain tricks people fall for and never achieve their goals? Since our childhood, I always told that we have to go to school, then we have to go to the university, and then we have to find our dream job and go every day to this job. And then we have to marry, and then we have to have kids, and so on and so on. And when we reach a certain age, people around us start asking us, why, when? It's already the time, it's too late. And this is impregnated as a part and as a belief in our mind that it is too late. It is too late to start doing something. It is too late to start living our own life. It is too late to let our fears away and build our dream. But believe me, our brain doesn't know what time is. Our brain doesn't perceive the time as we think we are perceiving it and feeling it. Our brain is the same since we born and when we die. It is our job to input those files I was talking earlier and to understand that time is limiting us just because we allow it to do so. We allow to these beliefs to stop us from doing things we really love in this life. But once you realize that, you just put everything aside, you take a journal, you take a pen, and you straight away write down what was you dreaming about when you was a kid. And you fall into this dream when you have time to stop from all that situation that is going around you you just feel yourself warm and protected. And this is another brain trick, that it can bring you from then to now, from now to the future, without understanding that these things happen in our real life, or this is something that we just imagined. I want you to think once again, a couple of minutes, about this, that time does not exist in our brain as we perceive it. Time is just a variable that helps us to be more organized, to be on time somewhere, but does not help in long term to build our dreams and goals. Our main brain function is to auto save us. Yeah, and I was talking about this a bit earlier. What happens during this is that your brain asks you to stay in control, in silence, and illnesses are here to come because the pattern is not changing. That's one that I started this webinar with: circular movement. You don't change your job. You don't want to leave your husband. You are living in worries, even if that situation didn't yet happen. It happened only in your brain. But this is not a fact that it will happen in your real life. But here is the trick, that if you continue thinking about something, the brain's algorithm understands that this situation is happening day by day. Every day you are living and thinking about something, and if you're too worried about that, the brain will finally create an event for you, so that what you was worrying about will transfer into your reality in present for that day. If you have kids, for example, this is a very interesting trick. Ask them a question and really listen to what they will answer to you. Kids do not have those beliefs, those patterns, because they are created during our entire life, from childhood to when we become adults. Their brain is not full of toxins. There is a straight relationship between what we eat and the way we think. And it is extremely interesting, the experiment that you can take with your kids, just to ask them something and to listen to what they will answer to you. So I was telling earlier that your brain will create you the events you are thinking every day about. So if you continue worrying about your child or your husband, or about a situation that may happen in future but did not yet happen in present, you will create it, and lately your brain will need to create a situation where you will feel the same as you are doing every day. So this is a kind of a closed circle, closed cycle, and you need to break the door and go through it, overcome your fear, and start changing things that you don't like. Of course, I'm not telling now that you should change what you like. If you are living your perfect dream, if you are having a lovely family, if you really love your husband and you love yourself next to your husband, then you just have to increase the confidence in yourself. You have to increase the number of hobbies you have. But in case these things are not as you wanted them to be, so here is where you need to start the move. Our brain is like a machine, like a car. For a car stays there outside in the garage, and what you need to do, you need to go to it, unlock it, jump into the car and start it. So the same happens with our brain. We need to upload the files that we need, and we have to use them. Otherwise, our brain will just stay there and try to autosave us and create for us illnesses, because we have to die at a specific moment of time, right? And this is a projection of what we came into this world with, right? And imagine if everything would be so perfect and fine, and we would have nothing to worry about, and we would not have any illnesses, then we would never die. Again, my connection. Can you see me? Oh, gorgeous ladies, please let me know, because I want to present my marvelous electrifying self-love program, and I'm not sure I can do this right now. But in any case, I did share some of the information I wanted to. And of course, for those of you who want to change their life, I am inviting you to my electrifying self love program. It is an amazingly amazing challenge. I'm super in love with it. I'm so proud that I'm the creator of it because I have been creating it in the last 5 years. And I have put all my inspiration into this, and I have collected it from my entire life experience. I saw on my body, on myself, that changes came, and a lot of my friends start asking me what you did for that, what you did for this, how did you go over that huge debt that you had. And I started sharing with them what I was doing, and the results have been amazing. Lots of my clients send me messages after the challenge that their kids improve some illnesses, or even they forget that they ever had them. And I'm so happy when I'm reading this. I want to share it with entire. I call it commitment challenge because you will have to do everything by yourself. It is a commitment of yourself that you are ready for the change, and you will take care of yourself. You do not pass the responsibility of your life to someone else. You take everything in your hand, and who can take care more than you of your body? You really start appreciating things that's going on around you. You really start thinking about what you are thinking before actioning. You really understand how important it is to have positive foundation wherever you start doing. You will understand why you should stop worrying about kids because you make them ill, especially until the age of 7. You will see after the program that you really change yourself so much that the entire world started to change. But this is not because other people became different. And you know that I always say that you can't write your dreams and goals towards a third party, like towards how your husband should behave, or your parents, or someone else in your life. You can only write things you want to live by yourself. And once you do the change, people around you start changing. So I'm really inviting you to follow the program. But if you are not yet ready, you can start today by introducing one habit and link that habit to a big dream, and following from day to day, like very tiny steps, you will see that you are really starting to change. And of course, I could not leave you without an offer. This is today's prize. I will be waiting for you whenever you are ready to join this community of marvelous women that took their life in their hands and didn't expect someone else to do that. And just with the support coming from people that think the same way you do, they managed to really change their life, and not only change their lives, but change the life people they live with. I hope you really enjoyed. Start thinking what you are doing in your life and why did you come on this earth.